Here's all the stuff I've been using. Let's see how it compares to my old skincare routine. It's Michelle of Lab Muffin Beauty Science, chemistry PhD, cosmetic chemist, and person who really doesn't talk that much about her skincare routine for a skincare influencer. With all this talk of skin cycling, it made me think about my skincare routine, which involves modified cycling, I guess. And I remembered I made this video in July 2020, reacting to my 2019 skincare routine. So today I'm going to react to my old reaction video and chat about what I'm still using, what's changed, and whether or not I still agree with what I said. Like, subscribe, notification bell. So the problem with doing a full reaction to that video is that video was already 26 bloody minutes long, so I'm going to be skipping around a lot. I don't like sharing my routine that often because I'm testing products and I don't want to endorse something that I haven't fully tested yet. I agree with that last time and I still agree with it now. Before I have an opinion on a product, I like to use it consistently for a couple of weeks, and then I like to use it also on and off in different conditions. In different sorts of weather, in different parts of my menstrual cycle, when my skin's irritated, when it's not, just to get like a really thorough idea of how the product interacts with my skin and when it really shines and when it doesn't. I think it's tempting for people to see my routine and try to copy it exactly. My skin's needs aren't the same as another person's skin's needs. You get to know your skin and its needs, then base a routine on that and your budget and product accessibility. That's why the Lab Muffin Guide to Basic Skincare starts with instructions on how to perform a skin assessment. You can't work out what your skin needs if you're using products that aren't right for your skin, then piling products suited to someone else's skin on top. You just can't. Yes, I still 100% agree with this. I am a big fan of purposeful, deliberate, conscious skincare use, even though those words sound like really hippy-dippy. It actually stresses me out a bit when I hear about products going viral and selling out. I really feel like skincare just shouldn't be a fad, and I hate that skincare is heading towards, or maybe it's even there, like a fast fashion model where products and even brands aren't planning to stick around for even a year. I think it is fine and natural to get bored of your products and want to change things up every once in a while, but this sort of artificial marketing-driven overconsumption is just not sustainable and it's not good for your skin or your wallet. I think a lot of skincare Instagrammers tend to share their routines and it will be like 10 products and half of them will change every single day. I think it gives people who are less experienced a misleading idea of how many products should be in a routine and how often you should be changing them out. I still agree with this, although I think social media has moved. It's gone from photos with 15 products to TikToks that are like, you gotta try this product, it completely changed my skin, everyone run out and buy it now. From the sorts of comments and questions I get, I feel like a lot of people don't really know how to put together a routine anymore. It's a lot more focused on individual trending products that might not actually make a lot of sense put together. So now onto my personal routine. My routine isn't rigid, I adapt it based on how my skin feels. That's still the case. I will pick products based on whether my skin's feeling tight, dry, what the weather is like as well. My top priorities are anti-acne and anti-pigmentation. That hasn't changed. I'm turning 32 this year, so young. So I'm starting to see more white hairs and wrinkles. Okay, my skin concerns have actually changed now. With acne, I was off the pill in 2019. I started again in early 2020. So now that I've been on the pill consistently for almost 3 years, my hormonal breakouts have died down a lot. I'll get one deep pimple on my chin every second month. Sometimes I'll get a pimple like right here because I put my head down during Pilates class and I'm pretty sure that just, messed up that area. But yeah, it's a lot more rare now. With pigmentation, I mostly work from home in an office that doesn't get much sunlight. Plus I did a few rounds of PicoSure laser treatments last year, and with less acne, there's also less of that post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So with pigment, it's more about prevention for me than treatment now, which is pretty much just my day routine with sunscreen. Although we are heading into summer now, so the pigment situation might change, I do really like hiking. My wrinkles, I don't think they've changed that much. I think the lack of sun and that PicoSure also help with that. So the bad side, there's a pandemic, so I wear a 3M Aura mask a lot of the time when I go out. It sits off my face, so it isn't very irritating, but it does still trap moisture, especially when I'm teaching and talking a lot. So my biggest skin concerns now are more with irritated skin texture, and superficial clogged pores. My skin is oily and dehydration prone. I prefer not to layer too many products. Yep, still the case. Too many steps gets confusing and heavy and increases the chances of the products interacting and clumping up or irritating my skin. And it takes longer than I can handle. still correct. After cleansing, I like to use less than 4 products. I think the average has actually gone down a bit since then. I think I generally use 2 or 3. I think my average is more like 1 or 2 now. Part of this is also because I switched to more multifunctional products that can take the place of 2 or 3 products. I don't like things that are unpleasant to use, even if they're more effective. I like to enjoy my skincare routine. I favor products with convenient packaging and easier application over things that are a pain to use. Still true. I also like pleasant textures and scents. Yes. I think my preferences for skincare are pretty solidly set now, and I think that does come with just getting older and being less money poor, but more time poor and energy poor. I also got diagnosed with ADHD, and that's part of why I find it difficult to stick to routines. If there's bad textures or weird scents or fiddly packaging, they're all just like giant barriers to me using a product. Just because I don't regularly use a product I've loved in the past doesn't mean I no longer recommend it. Sometimes products just fall by the wayside as a similar product has replaced it and I haven't felt the need to repurchase it. Sometimes I switch to a different product and forgotten how good it was, and then later on I rediscover it and go on a rave. I think that is going to happen in this video. Yeah, and I just try so many products. I have a bad memory. I just forget about things if I put them away. Plus, I think I've been in the process of slowly replacing single function products with more multifunctional ones, or products with nicer textures or packaging or whatever. I've tried so many products now. In every category, there's probably at least 3 or 4 products that are all really great. So which one I've been using at a particular time might be something super trivial, like this fits in my bathroom cabinet better. So this is going to be more like a snapshot of what I'm currently using rather than my favorite products of all time or even my favorite products currently. So the first step of my routine, which is like the same as everyone probably, is cleansing. Last year, I cleansed with an oil cleanser, then a gentle foaming cleanser. I shower at night, so I step into the shower with oil cleanser on my face, then step into the shower for the foaming cleanser. That's still pretty much my routine, even during lockdown. This has changed a bit. I mostly shower in the morning or afternoon now, so my hair can air dry as much as possible before I go to sleep because less effort. I try to wear as little makeup as possible if I'm going to be wearing a mask, which is most of the time that I go out, and that's to reduce breakouts and also so I can keep my mask less gross. So that means I only really use cleansing balms after filming when I have a full proper face of makeup, probably about once a week. This is the cleansing balm I've been using. It is the Then I Met You Living Cleansing Balm. I still love this. It's still my top cleansing balm of all time. Also, a disclaimer, almost all the products I'll be mentioning are PR samples, which are products that I've been sent with no obligation to talk about them. I get sent a lot more products than I can try out, and almost all the brands that I like and would buy offered to send me products. It's just how beauty marketing works at the moment. The other cleansing balm I've been using is the Ordinary Squalane Cleanser. This is still my top budget-friendly recommendation, but I haven't used it in a while because I've been trying out so many other cleansing balms. I have actually found a few more to join Then I Met You in my favorites, the Alpha H Cleansing Balm and the Crave Beauty Makeup Rewind. Both of these smell nice and are really just a joy to use. I have a pretty strong preference for lightly fragranced products over strongly fragranced and also unfragranced. I think this might be technically unfragranced, but whatever raw materials they've used smell really nice. I've been using the Then I Met You Soothing Tea Cleansing Gel, the Neutrogena Ultra Gentle Daily Cleanser, the BioEssence Bio Water Micellar Water. I haven't really been consistently using any specific wash-off cleansers lately. Here are the ones I've been using if you're curious. The Geek & Gorgeous Jelly Joker Cleanser. This is really nice for a non-foaming cleanser, really gentle, but I think I just need a little fragrance in a cleanser to really love it. This is the Iunic Centella Bubble Cleansing Foam. I really like these self-foaming pumps. This has like a bit of a herbal scent. It's really gentle and hydrating. I've also been using the CeraVe Salicylic Acid Cleanser. This is really popular. I recommended it to my friend as like an easy to find salicylic acid cleanser, and then I realized I hadn't actually tried it. It's fine, it's not really giving me that much of a difference on my skin, and it might just be because I'm already using so much salicylic acid. So I use these foaming cleansers in the shower. I hate washing my face over the sink. I've talked about this before. I hate how the water goes everywhere and I have to wipe it down afterwards. I hate how it runs down my arms. So because of how my shower routine's changed, that means that I've actually been using micellar water a lot. So the Bioderma Sense of Bio Micellar Water is my favorite. I think I've gone through maybe 3 bottles and this one is half done. I've raved about this a whole bunch before. So pretty much anytime I'm washing my face outside of the shower, this is it. And I end up using this probably most nights. You don't have to rinse it afterwards. It was specifically designed for people who are in places where the tap water is not good for their skin. For makeup removal, I've been using this, which is new. It's the Bioderma 2-phase Sense of Bio eye makeup remover. A little bit disappointingly, the water phase isn't exactly the same as the standard micellar water. For both of these, I use reusable cotton rounds. There's the velvet sort of texture ones for the eyes, and I use a terry cloth texture for my face. I love how soft these are compared to the disposable rounds I was using before, and I just chuck them into a mesh bag and then put them in the laundry. I'm still using the bamboo ones that I talked about before, and it's got this like handy tag to clip for drying. I've also started using the Medicate ones a lot more, and I love these because one side is terry cloth and the other side is velvet, so I can just use one for both my eyes and my face and then chuck it in the wash. Whereas with the double-sided ones, I feel like I need to use it over a few nights. I've also tried these Garnier ones, but I don't like them as much. They're like a bit fluffy and the two sides separate a bit more. And yeah, just a personal preference. And I don't think this is that much cheaper than other reusable rounds. Okay, on to actives. So I use a 3-night cycle for my leave-on evening products, tretinoin night, alpha-hydroxy acid night, and vitamin C night. I still use a 3-night cycle. Tretinoin night is always in there. The other 2 nights have changed a bit, but generally there will be one harsh exfoliating night and one gentle, nicer night, recovery night. Last year I said that my skin was still super sensitive to tretinoin. So thankfully it is a lot less sensitive now. I hardly ever get massive peeling. I still only use it every 3 days. So yeah, skin cycling is trending, but it isn't actually anything new. Cycling is really just not using every single product every night, which has always been the case if you followed the instructions on a lot of skincare products that said use twice a week. So I was doing it before 2019, I'm sure people were doing it as long as skincare has been around. Okay, so I went down this very, very deep rabbit hole looking for historical evidence of people skin cycling or just not using products every single day. And this is what I found. Someone was using milk baths twice a week, so she was cycling her milk baths, I guess. I even asked an archaeological expert who has been digging into historical skincare, and she found that in ancient times, people tended to talk about products that maybe you wouldn't use every day because they were quite harsh, but there wasn't any actual written evidence of how frequently people used them. But yeah, so that was a good 6 hours, and I thought I would record this so I haven't just completely wasted 6 hours with nothing to show for it. So yeah. 6 hours. With the official skin cycle, it recommends 1 night for exfoliating, then 1 night for retinoids, and then 2 nights for hydration and soothing. I was doing something similar, but with retinoids as the first night, then exfoliation, and then 1 rest night. I actually think most people could work up to using a retinoid every night or every other night. Even with my 3-night cycle, I felt like I wasn't using retinoids enough. Most of the studies on the benefits of retinoids use nightly use. There are a few where retinoids were used every 2nd night, and then maybe 2 studies where retinoids were used twice a week or even once a week. And from the studies that looked at frequency of use, it seems like that the more you use them, the more benefits you get. The reason I wasn't using them as often was because of that irritation and flaking. And I found that my skin was most irritated 2 nights after using tretinoin. So that's why exfoliation was on the other night, to avoid that stinging. So I was up to comfortably using it every 3rd night, and then the supply chain crisis hit. So I didn't actually have tretinoin for about 6 months, so I tried out a lot of other retinoid products instead, and these ones were my favorites. The Medicate Crystal Retinol. This is my favorite retinol product. I've been seeing more retinoid on the market, and a lot of other retinol products are really bright yellow, which they'll still work, but it's just a bit off-putting because you can actually see it on your skin, or at least I could. Of the newer, yellower ones, this one was probably my favorite, the Trini Retinol Niacinamide Serum. If you're looking for a budget-friendly retinol, the Geek and Gorgeous 8 Game is the most budget-friendly one I've seen. I feel like it doesn't really make my skin look as nice as the other retinol products, and I think that's because it's just got less supporting ingredients, but this is a good option if you just want to try a retinol. And yeah, you don't want to spend too much money. I also really like Night Shift from Stratia. This has encapsulated retinol, and I did a sponsored Instagram post explaining why it was good. So it's more stable and more gentle. They have studies on the raw encapsulated retinol ingredient that they used, as well as on the finished product. So I really like this. It's got a really moisturizing base, and it just works really well as like an all-in-one retinol product. I also really like the Paula's Choice 0.3% retinol and 2% bakuchiol. This is, again, another really good all-in-one product. Paula's Choice like to jam in all of the supporting ingredients into their products, which is really good if you like to have one step. So this one has peptides, vitamin C, skin soothing ingredients, antioxidants. I think if I wanted like a really simple routine, I could even just use this every night. Here is another all-in-one product, the Strivectin Super C Retinol. This one has vitamin A, B, and C. And so again, it's just like a no-brainer sort of product where you don't have to think too hard and you still get like 3 actives without worrying about layering and how much to use and all of that. You just slap one thing on. The only thing I don't like about this is that it isn't a dropper bottle, and yeah, dropper bottles are just a little bit more effort for me to use. Again, like the reasons I use the product are just so trivial a lot of the time. So after all of that, I am back to working my way up slowly with tretinoin, and I'm being a bit more cautious because of all that mask irritation I've been getting. So I've been using those like cosmetic retinoid products when my skin's too irritated to risk using this little tube of fire. So the random peeling from this and the mask irritation has also thrown my cycle out of whack, so it's sort of in like a transition phase from that 3-night regular cycle to something different, I guess. Ideally, where I'm trying to get to is using a retinoid product every second night. So here are the moisturizers I tend to use the most. The Laneige Cream Skin Toner and Moisturizer, the Jordan Samuel Skin Performance Cream, Bioderma's Sensibio Light, Dr. Dennis Gross's Stress Repair Face Cream. For mixing with tretinoin, I've been trying a few different things, but my solid mainstay is the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm. It's my go-to soothing cream, so I figure it has one of the best chances of stopping all the flaking, even though it couldn't really save me from that half a pea of freshly opened tretinoin. They've reformulated it to the B5+. I picked this up in Europe. I'm still trying it out, but so far it seems to be working pretty much just as well. I've been trying out a lot of really bougie moisturizers lately that I've been sent. I've been curious about fancy moisturizers for a while, and since my skin has been so irritated, I've been trying out creams with lots of actives rather than trying out serums because it just seems a bit safer. So some of the ones, the Biologique Recherche Creme Isoplacenta, the Then I Met You Renewing Rich Beauty Cream, which has ginseng in it, the Sulwhasoo Essential Comfort Firming Cream. This is like a Fitty Snail's favorite brand that I've been influenced by. Jude talks about this all the time, so yeah, I thought I'd try some of their products. There's also the Emma Lewisham Supernatural Cream, which I really like, and the Augustina Sparta Cream, which I think I just keep seeing in lots of beauty magazines. These creams do seem to do more than cheaper moisturizers, but I haven't really made up my mind about them yet. I'm not entirely sure that you couldn't get a similar effect more cheaply with a serum plus a moisturizer. So to me, they seem like a nice treat yourself sort of product, or if you're in my situation where you just want one thing that just has everything in it and it's like relatively safe and gentle on your skin, but I still need to test them out more before I really make up my mind. If my skin's too flaky or irritated, I use Kate Ryan's Total Nutrition Night Repair Complex instead. I tend to use this a lot on nights before I want my skin to look really good. This is still my favorite cream to reliably give me this effect, but some of those fancy moisturizers I've been using seem to do that too, and the textures are just a lot nicer. As much as I love this, and I've loved this for a really long time, it does have like a bit of a gluey texture that makes it a bit hard to spread, and I think I've been noticing it a bit more because of that skin irritation. So now I tend to mix this with something else, and yeah, that's just an extra step which makes me less likely to pick this up. So night 2 of my cycle is alpha hydroxy acid night, and I said that I still find that I get some whiteheads if I don't use hydroxy acid exfoliants regularly. That's still the case now. This is especially important if I'm trying out sunscreens. Yes, that is still true. Sunscreens still clog the crap out of my pores. 2% BHA liquid, still love it, still use it. I'm still going with this. We're basically married now. We're celebrating our, 13th anniversary. This is my default exfoliant for exfoliation night. It just works so well on my skin to make it smoother and clear out my pores and just also refine that texture. It probably won't work for everyone, but I think it's a pretty nice option for people who have oilier skin and big pores. I talk more about different exfoliants and how to add them to your routine in my free exfoliation guide, so download that if you haven't already. So back then, my high strength one was Ultraceuticals Ultra Brightening Serum. That is still in my stash. I still use it, here it is. This is still on my bedside table. I use it a lot less now, usually only when I go to bed and I realize I forgot to put on an exfoliant. I should really just move this to the bathroom, but then I wouldn't have like an emergency exfoliant.
There's people that are dying.
I've started using more P50 lotion, which I bought when I was in Paris. I still like this, but I haven't actually used it for a long time because I started on the P50 Pigment 400 version. That's what's recommended for people with East Asian skin that's prone to hyperpigmentation, but I found that it was like a bit weak on my skin, probably because I've been using exfoliants for so long. So I think I just forgot to go back to the P50. Another acid product I've been using a bit more is Dr. Dennis Gross's Alpha Beta Universal Daily Peel, and this, I think it's mostly just convenience. I actually just got back from a holiday and yeah, I took these along because they are just so convenient. On night 3, I found that recently I haven't really been using vitamin C, and I think that's because I haven't really had that much post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. That is the case now as well, and I can't really complain. But vitamin C is a really good ingredient for other reasons as well. I used to use it at night because I didn't like layering anything under sunscreen, it was too sticky. But now that I don't wear sunscreen most days because of how I live in a cave, I tend to use vitamin C in the morning when I remember, which is like twice a week. I should really like put it on top of my toothbrush or something. The one I like the most is the SkinCeuticals Silymarin CF. This is like the classic CF ferulic formula, but it was designed for oily skin, so the vitamin E is being replaced with Silymarin. The Silymarin is less thick and oily compared to vitamin E, and so it's meant to clog your pores less and just, be less oily for oily skin. One thing I really like about this is that instead of smelling like hot dog water, which is like that classic vitamin C serum with ferulic acid smell, this actually smells sort of like those Capico coffee lollies. It's got this sort of like caramel coffee scent, which is a lot nicer than that classic hot dog scent. And the other option for vitamin C is just using it in another product. So this one also has vitamin C, and also the Paula's Choice Retinol also has vitamin C in it. So yeah, one less thing for me to remember with my terrible goldfish memory. So on my third night, instead of vitamin C, a lot of the time now I will use these Bakuchiol Reface pads from Indeed Labs. La Clinica's Essentials Hydrating and Healing Serum. I've actually stopped using both of those. I really love the Paula's Choice 10% niacinamide booster. I don't know why I stopped using it. I think I just forgot about it. Maybe I should go back to it. I think also a lot of the products I've been testing tend to have niacinamide in them nowadays, so maybe I think I just sort of feel like I'm getting enough niacinamide, but I'm definitely not getting 10%. So I've actually gotten back into using niacinamide for my break nights, and yeah, maybe it's because I've been using more Western products recently that aren't as niacinamide heavy as Asian products. So the ones I've been using, the TBH Rebound, this is a niacinamide serum that was developed as a collaboration with my friend Hannah English, who is a pharmaceutical science. She's on Instagram as Miss Hannah E. This has a really long list of other nice ingredients as well, like humectants, ceramides, allantoin, centella, panthenol. So it's really good for like an active recovery night. It's a similar sort of idea to that La Clinica serum that I talked about. And it's just really pretty. It's in this like pretty gradient pump, and it has a really nice texture. This, yeah, my skin just really likes this. It's just super benign. There's also the Then I Met You Giving Essence, which is a niacinamide product that also has a bunch of fermented ingredients. So spot treatments, depending on what spots I have. I used Paula's Choice 4% BHA, hydrocolloid bandages, microneedle patches. I ran out of the 4% BHA and I didn't really like the texture, and I don't get pimples that often, so usually I just use a microneedle patch overnight and the 2% BHA during the day. I've gotten lazy and my skin hasn't been feeling that dehydrated, I think because a lot of my products now have lots of humectants in them. Yeah, I don't really use masks at all really, although I guess when I have really irritated skin, I'll use a really thick layer of La Roche-Posay Cicaplast overnight as like a mask. But yeah, it's like really just a thing that I slap on when I feel like I can't really slap anything else on. Exfoliation catch-up. Now I actually only use Exfoliate for this. A lot of the time it's actually an add-on rather than a substitute. Physical exfoliation 1 to 2 times a week. I still do that, and I am still using a peeling gel. The peeling gel I'm using is Skin Foods Pineapple Peeling Gel. Amazingly, I don't think that has actually changed. I'm still using Exfoliate. I forgot to put it inside the box because it is in my shower. I literally used it last night. It is the best in-shower exfoliating mask I've ever tried. With peeling gels, I ran out of the Skin Food, so I'm now trying out this Missha one, which works quite well. In general, I found that cellulose peeling gels work a lot better than acrylates ones. They work better on wet skin, which is when I use them. The acrylates ones work better on dry skin. If you use an acrylates one on wet skin, sometimes you end up with like bits on your face that kind of feel weird and tacky and filmy. So watch out for that. I don't think it's with all products, but cellulose is just a safer bet for in the shower. So things I've added to my routine since last time. I've added a microcurrent device. This is the Furry Bear. I did a sponsorship with them. I also have a new face that I sometimes use as well, and I've been playing around with them and trying to compare them. I just got back from holidays and I'm trying to get back into using this, but I tend to be a bit sporadic because I'm just bad at using things daily and every night. I'm a night owl and I tend to put off my night routine till as late as possible, and then I have to try to cram it in. And so I'm probably going to try using this in the middle of the day instead. I also realized last time I forgot to talk about lip balm, and yeah, so the lip balm I've been using the most is the Dermal Therapy lip balm. This brand is an Australian brand. It is $6 and it is just really good. It is the best lip balm I've ever tried. They've got a bunch of different flavors. Some of them have menthol, so if you don't like menthol, I don't like menthol, watch out for that. But they have 2 flavors that definitely don't, probably more. Manuka honey and pawpaw. Both of them are menthol free, and yeah, they just work really well. A lot of people who are on Roaccutane use this, and yeah, it works really well for super dried out lips, which mine are. This one from Skinfix also works quite well as well. It's probably the next best one after this. And yeah, I don't love their clean marketing, but this is actually quite a good product. So looking back, I guess the biggest changes from 2020 to 2022, my skin's gotten more sensitive and prone to irritation, but I also have less acne. So my routine has switched to more focus on soothing products and gentler retinoids, and that's also because I ran out of tretinoin. My cleansing has also changed a bit because of when I shower, but conceptually my routine is still pretty much the same routine. It works really well for my skin. It might not work for yours. I am planning to ramp up the retinoid use, so we'll see how that goes with actually changing my cycle for the first time after 3 years-ish. So we'll revisit how that went next year. Like, subscribe, notification bell for more nerdy beauty talk. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and more videos should be popping up around me if you want to watch more.